on. Here we are again this fabulous day out here, Charles.
Yes.
I'm here with my son, Charles Scott Jr. This is the program that comes to you on a weekly basis called Can We Talk? Maybe you want to say a little bit?
Usually do the intro. This is Charles Scott Sr. with Tri-State Realty. I'm Charles Scott Jr. As you know, we come to you weekly. You know, like I said, everyone, don't just restrict it to this Monday. We're on TV, I would say Thursdays, I think. But go on TikTok, go on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, type in Tri-State Realty Can We Talk, over 50 episodes. You can learn about not just real estate, but we help with a lot of different issues.
We work on community issues. We tell you some of the things that are happening within the economy.
Yes.
My son and I, we both been involved in real estate. We're involved in a lot of community activities also. Mm-hmm. And between the two of us, I don't know how many, about probably 50 years of experience.
Just about, right?
You don't look that old, but 50 years of
50 years experience.
Total experience in real estate market. Mm-hmm. That's our main thing, but also we talk about many other things that may affect your life.
But I would say real estate is one of the main things. You got to live somewhere. And what we always encourage people is, although renting is a starting point, don't let it be a final point. Eventually, you're going to want to own your own property. So then you can not worry about this increasing rent that seems to just keep going up and up and up.
And we may seem like a broken record every week, but everything is changing.
Everything's changing.
We tweak it a little bit because one of the things is that there's a big unknown. We don't know. Mm-hmm. In some cases, you can look into the future and see some of the things that are happening. But some of the things such as the interest rates, I don't think anybody expected the interest rates to stay as high as they are for as long as they have been.
I remember, if you look back, we've been doing this for years. Go back 2 years ago. Back to March 2022, a Ukraine war was starting. We're saying, oh, this has got to change the world. Interest rates are going to go plummeting back to 1%, 2%. We're still holding at a healthy 7 or 8% right now, still 2 years later, I would say.
And, you know, when I say that, too, I say it with a grain of salt. That doesn't mean that things are all that bad.
No.
Because, you know, when you look at it, you just can't wait and your entire life and base your life on interest rates. No. You got to base your life on what is it costing you. Mm-hmm. For example, going back about, I'd say maybe 2 years ago, when the interest rates were like maybe around 5%, you know, people were saying, oh, you know, I'm going to wait, and a lot of people bought. Now, if you had bought back when the interest rates were 5%, say you bought a house back then for like maybe around $250,000, now, actually, you have about $100,000 of equity, or you could sell that and make a profit of over $100,000. So, you know, right now, it's still a good time to buy, because if you're looking to buy a house, it's not a matter of what the interest rate is. It's a matter of what does it mean to you. If you're paying rent, remember back then, rents were maybe around $900 or $1,000. That same rent now is $1,500 or $1,800. So if you said, okay, I'm not going to buy, I'm just going to stay here and rent. Well, that's not a good solution either, because if the rent went up by $500 a month over a 2-year period, you just threw away another $24,000 right there. So you got to do something when it's good for you. You know, you can't just sit around and wait and say, I'm going to wait until things change and then I'll do something.
What I tell people is always, they always ask us questions at seminars. So when is the right time to buy? I always say, when you're ready, you know, because you can't predict the future. We can't predict the future. But what thing you do see is change is inevitable. And what you want to do is get locked into, I would say, a mortgage. Remember, your mortgage is going to be fixed. And let's say interest rates do go down. You can still participate. You can refinance. So why are you going to be able to rent all these years? You can't refinance your rent. That's 100% interest. You're paying the landlord's mortgage off in that case.
I would say that the biggest reason for failure, the biggest reason for a lot of things that I see, and I talk to a lot of people about it, is indecision.
Oh, yes.
People are afraid to make decisions. Mm-hmm. You have to make decisions, or I guess maybe you don't, but there's a big price to pay when you are not able to make decisions. Sometimes the decisions are good, sometimes the decisions are not.
You heard the old adage, right? If you don't plan to win, you plan to fail. You're going to have a plan either way.
Either way. Or what is it? If you're not in control, someone will control you.
Yes, definitely.
Either way, it all boils down to you've got to, you're in control of your destiny. You know, I was talking to somebody last week, and the conversation was going back to, oh, the world's changing. This is happening. This person was a doomsday. Everything was falling apart. And I said, well, you got control. There's things that you can do. Oh, I can't do it. I said, well, you can control your life. There's certain things you can do to plan for it. And the funny thing about it is this person that I was talking to, for years, I've been giving good advice, telling them what to do, how to structure things.
Oh, yes.
But they never did any of it. Never took any of it. And I would remind them every now and then in the conversation, well, remember when I told you this? Remember when I told you that? And I said, but you didn't do anything. So, you know, in the future, things are going to change also. Things are going to change. That's
the way life is. You just got to be prepared.
And so what do? You look and you say, well, what's going to change, and or what are the possibilities of things changing? How can I change to adapt to that? Now, you know, a lot of people talk politics now. Either way, no matter what politics is, it's how I can fit in. Life has to go on. The world has to go on. The economy has to still go on. People still have to buy things. They have to sell things. There's a plus and a minus. In my profession or what I do, what can I do to position myself to end up on the positive end of whatever is going to happen? Exactly. And I look at all of the scenarios. Well, this could happen, that could happen. In all of those scenarios, what can I do to position myself so that I will be in a favorable position no matter what happens? No matter what happens. So either way, I just can't sit back and say, well, you know, I'm going to wait and see what happens. And what happens, then I'm going to make up my mind. That's not the way to look at it.
One thing I want to tell people is also, remember, different times come with different, and I'll say different advantages. For example, right now, say in this year, something that we didn't have this time last year, we have a program called Time to Own, a program where it helps people get down payment assistance and closing costs. But I may say that might not be here next year. It's a limited funds. So you want to make sure that people who are ready to purchase now or want to see how it works to buy a house, you know, take advantage of these programs. And like I say, it's forgivable money also.
One of the things you want to do is how can you leverage what you have now to make it so that you will have more in the future? How can you what can you do? Maybe it entails maybe refinancing your house. Even if the interest, let's say you refinance your house and the interest rate is 6%, but you're going to invest it into something that's going to make you 20%.
Oh yeah.
So what's wrong with that? Maybe you got a one-family house and you've had it for a long time. Now you want to take, and maybe you got $200,000 of equity. That means that you can borrow up to $200,000 on that house. So you say, okay, I'm going to borrow $50,000 of that, and I'm going to buy a 2-family house or a 3-family house, and then I'm going to rent that property out. And now, after I pay my taxes, insurance, and my mortgage and all that, I got $1,000 a month left over.
Exactly.
So now you've taken money from your single-family house that's just sitting there, and you've actually made it create an extra $1,000 a month in income for you.
And remember, there's other ways to do this, not just refinancing. What if you get a HELOC, something similar to that? So remember, there's different methods to do this.
Maybe you tell them what a HELOC is.
Oh, a HELOC, home equity line of credit. That means instead of getting a refinance where you're going to pay off the mortgage and have a new mortgage, we're going to keep that existing mortgage. What we're going to do is we're going to tap into the equity. You usually do it with the bank that you're working with, and what they're going to do is give you a line of credit. Now that will have a fluctuating interest rate, but remember, that money you're going to have there is going to be there to put. You're going to put it to work, whether you put it into a property to invest in or a business. Or some people may say, you know what, why am I going to take these student loans out at this price? I'm going to pay my kids' college with the HELOC because it'll be a lower interest rate. Plenty of different strategies you use with that.
And on what you're saying, you could even verify this. We not only tell you things, you know, we do it. In other words, we're what do you call it, a student of our own teachings.
Walk the walk, talk the talk.
You know,
definitely.
I took a HELOC out on my house, which was a home equity line of credit.
Yes.
So a home equity line of credit is like a big credit card. In other words, they'll give you an okay saying you can have so much money that you can they give you a checkbook and they say, here's the checkbook. You got $25,000 or $50,000, and as you write out checks, we will take that amount and we'll put it on your present mortgage.
Exactly.
And you could pay it separately. So that means if I write a check out for $5,000, then that amount is added onto my mortgage, and I pay monthly payments. Like I think recently I took $5,000 from my HELOC. That increased my monthly payment by $33 a month.
Now, honestly, you can't really beat that compared to a commercial credit card or anything like that. They're charging 25% now with the inflation now. Yeah, 25%.
Right.
You're not going to get a good deal.
Right. So I write a check out for $5,000. My monthly payment went up by $33 a month. Now, it's not a matter of just getting the money. The secret is, what do you do with the money?
Do with the money.
So now I take the $5,000, but what I do is I do marketing for my business. So now I take that and I buy brochures, I do marketing, I do advertising, I do ads. Now the money that I use there increases my business, whereas the $5,000 will make $25,000.
Exactly.
So now I'm using that equity there to make even more money from being able to invest it into getting more customers.
Now you see what he's doing there? He's putting the money to work. He's making it active. Be careful. Don't take out the HELOC just to pay off other debt.
Don't go on vacation.
They'll go on vacation. That was my thing. No one's paying off the bills. They're going to buy vacation trips and furniture and everything. What you want to do is invest in something that can make you money in the long term, or maybe a business or some sort like that.
Not only that, let's say, for example, I take the $5,000 and I put it out there and I make $25,000 with the $5,000. Now, not only do I pay back the money that I borrowed, but I'm ahead of the game by $20,000.
Exactly.
So now you're using, and what did I do? I'm not out there sweating. I didn't have to work a triple or a double or overtime. I didn't create more time. There's only so much time in the universe. You got 24 hours along with the other guy that's got
24 hours.
I always said to myself, what's the difference from someone who's, let's say, making $25,000 a year or $250,000 a year? They both have the same amount of time, same amount of minutes, same amount of seconds. And on top of that, the guy that's making $250,000 is working a whole lot less than the guy that's making $25,000.
It's all about how you utilize your time.
But he's making the money work for him.
Exactly.
Versus the other guys working for the money.
That's why we tell people who have properties, remember, you have different tools you can use to access that equity. And for those who are watching this that say, oh, well, I don't have a property, I'm renting right now. Remember, like I said, that time to own program, there's other steps that get you into home ownership, because as you can see, I mean, that's going to be your ultimate goal. I mean, people call me, what's the magic time of day, the first of the month. The landlord's calling for the rent, he's increasing the rent, I got to get out of here. That's how long you've been in that apartment. 23 years, 24 years. You know, it's only a matter of time when your landlord is going to increase the rent, or your landlord is going to be changed and that new landlord is going to increase the rent.
Well, the other thing is, like you said, okay, you may not have a house. You may not have something that you can get an equity line of credit on. But what you have to do, your equity line of credit is you.
There you go.
You have to invest yourself. Take a little bit from yourself. That means maybe don't go out and eat as much. Don't go out to dinner. You know how much it costs to go out to dinner today? If you go to McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
I went to, you go to McDonald's, that's like $25
$25
one person. If you and the wife or you and the girlfriend
kids,
and two children go to the McDonald's, that's like $50. I'm like, what?
Might go to the grocery store.
or no matter where you go. If you go any of these fast food restaurants.
No more dollar menu.
You know, what is the fast food restaurant open up down from our office?
Yeah,
right?
Wendy's. They're expensive too.
And I said, oh, new place opened up. Let me go see what's going on. Let me go in here and everything. And I'm looking at the menu and I'm like, wow. I might as well go and have a sit-down dinner.
So you can see people are experiencing that. People are paying rent and they're saying, wow, everything's going up around me, including my rent. So why not control something you can? Get yourself into a house and get that mortgage fixed. You see that price, it's not going to change for the long part.
The children, summer's coming. We're in the summer season right now.
Yes.
What's coming up? Vacations.
Vacations.
Vacations are coming up. The kids want to go to the theme park. You want to go to the splash pad.
Oh, yes.
You want to go here. You want to go to Six Flags. And you want to go here. And, I haven't been there in years, so I don't know. But
I said it's a dangerous time for home buying just because people spend money when they shouldn't be spending money. Remember, when you get pre-approval, we're talking about another episode, the bank's going to see that savings and everything. Don't go spending that on the vacation, which we've seen that happen before.
You go to a park, like I said, these theme parks and all that. You got to pay a certain fee when you get in. Whether you go in on one ride or no rides.
You're paying an admission fee.
The parking alone. So you're taking the kids. You're looking to spend $150, $200. You got to start saving some money, putting some money aside.
Yes.
It may not be a lot. If you don't put anything aside, you got at the end of the year zero. You have nothing. So put a little bit aside. And people say, "Well, I can't afford to." Well, first of all, getting back to the basics. Everybody out there should sit down, put a pencil in their hand, a piece of paper in front of them, and do a budget.
Oh, yes.
I'm amazed at how many people, their whole lifetime, they never did a budget.
Nope.
They just wing it. In other words, sit down and say, okay, do like a business profit and loss statement.
Yep.
This is how much money I have coming in next week. These are or do it on a monthly basis. Every month, this is how much money I have coming in. This is how much money I have going out.
Exactly.
And then start itemizing how much you spend. And you might say, rather than do this, I'll cut some money here. Businesses have to do it. You hear of big businesses, they go bankrupt. Why they go bankrupt? Because of what's
they
happening.
Have bad budget. No one's budgeting.
What do they call that guy? The comptroller. The guy that controls the money. He might have ordered too much clothing to sell, and it's stuck in the store. He might have ordered. If you got a restaurants come and go like crazy.
Yes.
I seen one recently, and I drove by it, and I said, "Wow, this is the 5th restaurant that's been in there in about 3 years. They come and go, come and go." I think that's a hard business to be in.
It gotta be. Definitely.
If you order too much food, it goes bad.
If you don't order enough,
the people come in and say, "Do you have this?" "Oh, we have this. Yeah. Oh, he ain't coming back here no more." And if you give the people too much food on their plate, then you're losing money. If you don't give them enough food on the plate,
they won't come back.
They won't come back.
You got to play the middle ground almost.
So you got to know exactly how much to order. You order too much, it'll spoil. So I'm thinking, boy, that's a tough business to be in. And then you got to worry about getting someone that knows how to cook.
Oh, you have a good workforce too.
I had a friend of mine had a beautiful restaurant in New Haven, New Haven, Connecticut. He opened up this place. It was something to admire, and I was surprised. It wasn't a franchise, but he had borrowed money from the SBA, Small Business Association.
Yes, SBA.
So he was able to do it up. This place was really nice, all glass, ritzy. It looked good, and I said, he's gonna kill it. He's gonna make a lot of money because everybody's gonna come to this place.
Yeah.
And when he first opened up, the grand opening, everybody was coming to the restaurant and all that and everything. And I'm not from that New Haven, so I go by every now and then I went by and it was closed. And I'm like, wow, what the heck happened? So I asked my friend, I said, what happened to the restaurant? He said, yeah, he didn't know how to cook.
Oh, how about that?
I'm like, what? He says,
the
food was horrible. So I'm saying, he had a beautiful place, but I guess, you got to know how to cook. And then on the reverse side of that, you could get a little hole in the wall.
Where the best cook.
Where it's packed. The place is mobbed. Everybody goes there. It may not look good, may not have all of the but they can cook the food.
They've been there for years.
And I know a couple of places like that because I frequent those places too. They cook good food.
But just to get back to the analogy, what we're saying is sit down for budget, just like these businesses do, because if you don't, you'll be out of business. You'll be bankrupt yourself, where you'll never be ready to buy a house, and you'll always be struggling to pay the rent or any other bills.
Yeah, put yourself with a budget, and always take and put aside a little bit for yourself. But not only, like people always tell you that, put a little bit aside for yourself, but also in that budget, look at it and say, I'm just realizing I really don't have enough money to pay all my bills. So now you got to figure out, well, how do I get some extra money?
Exactly.
Well, you're not going to go rob a store.
Nope.
You're not going to go out and live off of your investments if you don't have any. You're not. The bank's not going to give you extra money in your interest account that you don't have there.
No.
You may have to get a little extra job on the side, or if you don't get a job on the side, you may have to create a job on the side.
Oh yeah, that's one thing also. Entrepreneurs.
You could create a job. Find out what a need is. They got people out here that make money that will go to the motor vehicle department and register your car for you. One of our friends has got a very success. He found a need. He said, people don't want to wait in line to the motor vehicle. He started a business where he'll register your car for you. And now he's got more than one location.
Yeah, he expanded the cars, trucks, everything.
I was watching TV the other night, and they had on their, I'm afraid of heights. I hate going up in bridges and all this. Oh my God, I get up there and I freak out. But this guy down in Virginia, the Chesapeake Bridge, the people they had a documentary on TV. And a lot of people, if you're going down south, North Carolina, Virginia, and all those places, you got to go across that. It's like 22 miles across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. And you get up there, and this guy's business is he will take you across the bridge for $10. So, and it takes you 20 minutes or whatever it was, and he charges you by each section. So, for example, he'll meet you there. You give him the keys. You get in the car. He'll drive you over.
He drives your car over.
He drives your car over, and then he gets on the other side. There's people waiting. He drives it back, and so the newscaster asks, "Well, how many times have you done?" He says, "Oh, I've been across and back today almost 30 times."
Wow!
And so he just drives over and gets paid. And drives somebody. He's like back and forth, people are waiting. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, I'll pay him too.
Right?
It might be a little bit more than 10, maybe $20, whatever it is. But he found
he found a niche.
And the lady was there. She says, yeah, I go over this bridge every day to get to work, and I don't know what I do without him.
How about that?
She says, I get in and close my eyes, and open my eyes, I'm all across the bridge. So there's ways that you can do it. I used to subscribe to this, not subscribe, I used to buy it. There's a magazine you can go into, the the bookstore, Barnes and Noble and all that, and it has money-making opportunities.
Oh yeah, the money-making.
The money-making, remember those magazines?
They actually, I saw an issue back from December. I think they still have that. It's right in Barnes and Noble.
Right, you go in there, and it's about maybe 30, 40 pages, but it's people that advertise little niche markets that you can do to make money. And some may be licking envelopes or sending out stamps or little odds and ends that you can create in your house to make extra money.
Yes.
And hey, if you make an extra, even if it's a couple of $100 a month or $100 a month, that's something you can do at home, and you got to religiously say you won't spend that money.
Now, I was going to say, I'm going to pick up one of those today also.
Remember those books? Opportunity Magazine, I think they used to call them.
They always have one thing in there I noticed, so it's notary, because that is a good thing to do. Everyone needs something notarized. It's always last minute. Usually it's a traveling notary. You go to them and then they stamp it, but that's one thing that's always in that magazine. I remember that.
Sure. You just hit on one, a notary. You become a notary. When you apply to the, I think it's Secretary of State's office in the state in which you are, and they send you out a form, and it's got like 20 questions on it. They send you a little booklet. You study a little booklet. You answer the 20 questions. You send it in, and you get your license. You get a certificate. You're a notary.
You get the stamp and everything.
And then there's companies out there that you can buy the stamp from. You get the stamp that makes the seal, and you advertise and you put a little ad, and you can do now. Years ago, you used to spend money, but now social media.
I was going to say that. I was saying you can go on Facebook to tell everybody.
Facebook.
If you need a notary, call me. I'll come to you right now. You might be surprised. You might get a couple of hits.
There you go. In other words, people always running around. Who does a notary? Who doesn't? There used to be all the travel agencies and all the different places were notaries. But now they're busy. They don't have time to do that.
Yeah, and they're shutting down.
They're shutting down. So someone calls you and say, hey, I need to have a notary, paper notarized. All you're doing is going out, asking for the ID, verifying that those are the people and everything. You notarize the paper, they give you $20 or whatever it may be.
Beat that.
And then you're off to the next place and the next place. And
Exactly.
and this is on your own time.
On your own time.
Hey, if you notarize 10 people at $20 a whop for the month, that's $200.
Exactly.
Now you take that and you put it into your savings account. End of the year, there's a $2,400 right there.
And that's something you can use to build on, you know, for when you wrote down your budget, you realize I'd have enough money to pay all the bills. But now with this extra income, I possibly do.
So we're telling you, I could sit here right now and tell you 10 different ways you could make money, you know? Hey.
Yeah, pay for that. That's the premium package.
Call me. That's how I make money, right? Call me and I'll give you all my ideas.
How to make money. That's how they get you.
You know, on TV, they're always like,
the gurus.
well, I stopped selling. I just do seminars now. I teach other people how to make money.
Exactly.
But I could definitely do that, you know, because there's so many different things that I've done to be able to get to the position that I'm at. You know, look at Uber. You could do Uber on the side. What's the other one? Lyft.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
I see people on scooters do the Uber Eats and bicycles. You don't even need a real vehicle to do
So,
that.
you know, there's things that you can do versus just sitting around waiting for something to happen. You can make it happen. Make things happen. Don't wait for things to happen. Make it. That should be your motto. Make it happen. Don't wait for it to happen. So these are things that you can do. And like I said, I'm giving you little ideas here where you can get together and maybe you can do things as a group. Get 2 or 3 of your friends to come up with something to do. You know, I told this young lady something that she never forgotten. I don't know, she might be watching one of my TV broadcasts and she'd probably fall out laughing if she's sitting in the chair. I said to her, go to a baseball game or go to the baseball field, buy some waters from BJ's or something like that. They cost you about 20 cents and go and sell them for $1. Get some ice, get some water, you know, get 200 or 300 bottles of water a day, stand out there, sell them, cars going up and down. Hey, 20 cents for the water and the ice, maybe quarter you're spending. You sell them for $1 a piece, and you sell 200 of those a day. That's $200 a day. You might quit your full-time job. But what I'm saying is that these are things that you got to be creative. To make. Don't wait for that person to give you something. Don't look for that. You know, look for the job and all that if you don't have one. But also look for things that you yourself. You are your own equity. Build yourself up. And decide you want to be able to go out there and do something that you can create. Exactly. Can't nobody stop you from doing that.
No one can stop you from doing that. Definitely.
So I get off my pulpit because when I get started on all this, I was like, I said, there's no reason why sometimes people cannot be successful.
Exactly. Remember, that number right there, if you ever want to call us and ask us a question, be real estate related or anything about the show, just give us a call right down there. And, you know, as far as you'll get me or you get my father.
Like I said, we not only talk about real estate, but we try to put money in your pocket so that you can be able to be successful. Exactly. So if you're looking to these programs that we were telling you about, if you're having trouble with your mortgage payment, give us a call.
Definitely give us a call.
Because there's some things that we can do. If you're looking to sell a property or to grow, let us know. Definitely. Again, call us at that number there. Until next week, God bless.
Amen.